We'll be catching up with CEOs. Jacques Cilliers has been at the helm of First National Bank since 2015. FNB has been associated with technological innovation and has been trying to position itself as South Africa's most helpful bank. Earlier, Cilliers said it needed to do more than roll out cutting-edge technology. It needed to win the hearts and minds of customers to remain successful. Jacques Cilliers joins us now. Thank you for being with us, Mr. Cilliers. So, I remember a time when people were actually switching to FNB and there was a lot of technology. It was seen as hip. It then seemed like the systems took a bit of strain. There was some downtime. Now that seems to have calmed down. Where do you think the bank is at?
Francis, thanks for the opportunity. I mean, this year we turn, can you believe it, 180 years.
Sure.
It's an incredible journey for some. If you think about, I mean, you can't even contemplate how much innovation and what you need to do to stay in the game and to, I guess, stay in the front and ahead of the game over the years. Clearly, where we are now is a very exciting next phase for us. And this year we worked a lot over the last few years of trying to capture what will set us up for success for the future. Because clearly it's about the next 180 years, right? It's not about the past, actually.
And you've said it's no longer technology because anybody can copy anybody else very easily. Yeah,
I said it a few times in the media already that, you know, nowadays any button or any technology with the capability and skill we have in FNB, we're blessed that we can actually replicate most things very quickly. The challenge is to package it in such a way that people actually get that benefit of helpfulness and the solutions make sense for you in your day-to-day living, right? Now, what transactional banking does, it gives us an incredible amount of data, an incredible amount of interactions that we can do just so much more with what we offer clients. Internally, we talk around, you know, we always had this thing called helpfulness, and we now say it's about exponential helpfulness, because with technology and data, you can do so much more than the old days of maybe one interaction a month or two a month to do banking. So that's what we're excited about in the new phase of our platform.
So how do you stand out if everybody's sort of trying to do this?
Yeah. So what we launched this week was a massive storyline around how we've reconfigured our platform, and I think that's important. So in the early days of, I guess, the process of banking was a lot of manual, lots of paper, and then what we did is we started giving people digital channels as an alternative. So you could still do the manual, but you could start doing the digital stuff. And as I guess the incredible adoption of our clients and our customers, I guess, and staff of the new ways of doing things, we've actually ended up with like a massive pendulum shift and a central gravity shift into what we now refer to as platform. So think about old way, and think about digital innovation, and now we're in platform innovation. And the way to explain it is in the same way that when you sign up for these platform companies, like let's say you sign up for Uber or for Amazon or for one of those, you sign up first before you take the product.
Which I think of as an app, I guess.
Yeah, but it's not about the app actually, it's about the platform, because the access mechanisms into the platform can come from any form. Even web is still a massive application for. But what you then effectively do is you sign up first before you take the product. So you sign up for Uber before you book an Uber. So you sign up nowadays with ourselves before you book a product or take out a loan. And it's that pendulum that's shifted. Now, what is powerful behind it is obviously our technology on the one hand, but secondly also this incredible data capabilities that we have. As a consequence of transactional banking and credit relationships, it's just incredible what we were able to do.
Then are you not worried about the new banks coming in, even Bank Zero, the former CEO, which is purely digital, which is platforms as well? Yeah,
so I think back to that, I guess, well, how can we compete? We live in a world where technology from big and small comes at us from different places, and we're inspired by it, because if someone comes out with a better way of doing things, then clearly we reflect on it and we try and say, how can we adopt it for our clients? And now whether it's payment instruments or it's, I guess, servicing elements, we spend a lot of time on reflecting on that, not just South Africa, but also globally. We are equally, I guess, concerned or challenged by big players doing that as well as small players. So these things are inspirations for us, and then we respond. But I think what is different, I guess, smaller players battle with what we have as, I guess, a 180-year legacy. We have data, we have networks, we have platforms, we have customers, and that's our challenge. How do we do more for them so that we supply and we satisfy the needs and dynamics that others can? So if you look at this week, now we put live the selfie capability to open an account, and for that to happen, clearly we had to transform our engineering stuff, also had to integrate properly into Home Affairs, which we're very proud of. That integration, I mean, we love the fact that the government's got solutions we can interface in to make massive impacts to how we operate. And then, as a consequence of that capability, we can start offering different things. So you would have seen on the stuff we launched this week, like Nav Money will help you track your transactional banking behavior of the past, and we predict whether you need a bit of money or a little bit of loan, will you make it to the end of the month? And we try and build up solutions.
A lot more of that, yeah. Bank Zero, however, that zero suggests low bank fees. South Africa traditionally criticised for banks making money off fees rather than interest rates. Does that not worry you? You're trying to bring your costs down, but they will have no overheads.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think in a banking relationship, there are a number of elements that are important to people. The one element is price. FNB is not a price play. We don't want to be the cheapest. There's an element that says that we must be affordable.
So people will still pay those service fees if they get the service?
Absolutely. So I mean, I guess there's an element that you say, okay, we should do more innovation, more automation, so we can actually bring costs down. But our game is about giving value. And that's the hearts and minds piece we talk about. People will be prepared to pay for stuff, provided it makes sense in their lives and it does the big difference, right? I mean, example is airtime top-ups that we do. The old days of spending time to go and do airtime top-ups, getting in whatever the disruptions to that. Nowadays, people will pay for the privilege or the benefit of actually being able to do it electronically through the device. So there's different ways of charging. I think our mechanisms of charging are going to change over time. We actually have been on that journey. Whether regulatory forces or we're competitive forces, we respond. So we're not nervous about being able to respond where we need to.
And has the whole virtual mobile route worked for you, and what comes after that?
Yeah, we are very excited. I mean, the mobile, I guess mobile as an instrument works a lot, and services banking needs a lot. But our mobile wallets, our e-wallets that we do, and the penetration that even at the bottom in the market, we bank, we'll put it in our results this year, we bank a lot of customers, millions, with no bank account, because we are able to distribute money using our banking infrastructure, ATMs, for free for people out there that actually benefit from it. So from the bottom right to the top, in fact, this mobile thing, where many people actually still are a little bit scared of technology, and what we've put into our platform, all the security elements in it, actually is a massive benefit for people. You think about things like the risks in emails and the risks in SMSs and the risks in phone calls that get, and all of that stuff in our platforms. They basically, behind the login capabilities, actually that risks reduces a lot. So we're excited about the solution.
Can you protect people when Facebook can't even protect people?
Now, there's also a very important message. Like it's there's a place banks and financial services companies can go with data and what we do with data, and a place we shouldn't go. And this morning, actually, I was in Durban and I presented to the teams. I said, people want us to protect them and look after their financial, activity. So we phone you if we suspect that transaction might not be yours, because the behavior is out of your behavior. It could be that someone is trying to do a transaction overseas and you are clearly in South Africa, or that someone is doing something on your profile that's out of character. And so what we do then is we basically help you to reduce risk. But what we mustn't do is start using your data for things that people don't want us to do. And that's basically what Facebook did. People trusted Facebook for certain stuff, but not for other stuff. And it's that mistake you make sometimes is to use the data for the wrongs.
What about your personal role? Because you came after a very strong CEO, Michael Jordan. Apparently figures went up between 2012 and 2015. A lot of people switching. He left somewhere in the middle of that, but some of it attributed to him. Have you felt under pressure? And I have found you less media accessible. But have you felt under pressure to be sort of a marketing CEO like he was?
Yeah, so I guess you always, there's goods and bads about any model. I think what we're doing at the moment is, if you think about the phase that Michael took over from Paul and the guys, is that we took our digital world to a different level. We certainly, we've always been like an innovative bank. We've launched the first ATMs here, we launched the first cards, but it's not been about technology. It's actually about how do you stay in the game. So there was a phase where we created our growth around the middle market, gold and platinum sort of markets. And then when Michael left, we took that to a different level in what we refer to as the top end market, which was a bit neglected, our premium and private banking spaces, as well as our business segment spaces. So what we needed to do after, I guess, the Michael phase was to say, let's take the growth that we had and let's cement that, because we can't drop the ball in that, but let's add the other pieces. And that's what we've been busy with. And I think, if you look at how the brand perception, the customer perception is out there, it's been an incredible journey. So personally, I'm very chuffed with the teams. I'm inspired by the momentum. I'm inspired by our customer adoptions on our products. And so the marketing angle of it, whether it's at a personal level or at an enterprise level, we're very comfortable with what we've been doing.
And you've been at the helm through a very significant political change. Ministers, Cyril Ramaphosa's ministers calling this a new dawn. Do you feel it as a business leader?
Yeah, we've felt. I mean, I think, if you think the last sort of 4 years, there's been this tornado from the front, in everything we do. There's uncertainties, there's wrong messages, there's lots of wave at us. That's turned into a bit of a breeze from behind. So it's an incredibly better position as leadership and on all levels. I mean, just from, how do you motivate your staff to the consumerism we can play with, and a little bit of upside in the credit game and the potential growth in our market. So it's a total different mix.
Are you feeling that customers are feeling more confident?
Absolutely. We see it in how many people are actually starting things and investing things again and fiddling. And there's a very, very nice upswing in our economy. It'll take some time still before it manifests in sustainable growth. And like early indicators are cool, but it needs to bed down into proper momentum.
So I like you call it a little breeze.
That's a breeze from the side, absolutely.
What about the debate, land expropriation without compensation? Does that worry you?
Yeah, I mean, as an enterprise that's been around for 180 years, we've sort of learned over the years that there are from time to time adjustments. At the moment, we're going through very healthy debates. We love the debates because they need to get certainty. And I think, land is just one. But over the last 5 years, we've argued that our country needs lots of certainty in telecommunication. Every angle of our economy needs certainty. Mining, land, all of them. And I think what government can help us with, and it does look as though government wants to help, is that we need to get answers to these things. Because only when you have certainty in these industries that you actually can then get the real momentum, the real long-term investments.
Do you think banks and business leaders should be involved in the debate?
We absolutely have a voice. Fortunately, I mean, there was a time where no one listened to any business contribution. I mean, business hadn't have a voice around the table. And what's happened over the last 3 years is you could see how business was invited to the table, which we appreciate. We're not the only voice, clearly. We respect that. But we have a voice and we're heard. And I think that's great. It's awesome to be able to be invited to be around the table. Yeah.
What would you say if you were?
Yeah. So at the moment, we have our contribution that says stability, and if you think about the land issue specifically, there's clearly an industry journey that says we're listening at the moment through the left views and the right views. There's practicality somewhere in between will be the right answer. But every time a regulatory adjustment comes in a country, and we've been through that, like let's say, for example, the Credit Act. There was a previous way of doing the world, and then the people wanted us, and communities and society and government wanted us to adjust, and we adjusted. But we applied our mind, we thought it through properly, people did a proper law, we applied our mind into the new law, and we've implemented the new law, and now we're operating in the new law. And there's a bit of chaos in the phase that it does. So wherever it lands as a collective, as a country, we feel that we'll get through this.
Even if we get to that certainty, you've hinted at something else, a lack of growth. Just talk about the future. Where does this all leave? The global uncertainty, firstly, with what's happening all around the world, and lack of growth in South Africa. I don't think you've been doing well with your African operations. That was once seen where it's at. Where do you go? How do you grow?
I mean, and this is back to the platform, right? So if you have a platform, you think about things like Amazon. And when they started, they had one product called the book, and they created the platform, and now they have 300 odd million products in the platform. So the thing is about what we positioned with this integrated financial services. So you look at growth, we have growth in each of our product lines that we have today, and we are diversifying properly into what we traditionally weren't doing so much of, investments and insurances into our client set. We're fortunate we have so much data, we have so many interactions, we have so much to work with that we can actually do very innovative solutions at a very affordable cost, because we don't have to build brands there. And we have the relationships already. We can originate stuff with much less cost basis. So to do this holistic financial services, we believe there's a nice runway in expansion of product.
So my final question then, because I'm interested, so you were an engineer, that's your original training. Who becomes powerful in banks now? Is it the bankers or is it the computer programmers who can add everything on?
No, I don't think there's a recipe. I mean, we're having fun with such a diverse talent pool. Everyone is adding so much value from finance to IT to legal. In fact, the integration that we did now on platform, we had to innovate our legal architectures, because the old days of having a contract 100 pages for this product and that 100 pages for that product, we had to re-engineer it. And if you look at our selfie application process, we have a holistic platform contract with an addendum or two needed for each of those products. So it's a total re-engineering and lots of talent. Actually, everyone's having fun. And we're blessed actually with a talent pool that can all contribute.
All right, thank you. Nice chatting to you this evening. That was FNB CEO Jacques Cilliers.